Hey everyone, it's Othania here with Create Your Future. So today I have a subscriber's question and I'm going to read it. It says, please make a video on mirror work for self-concept for SP and wealth. Okay, so when it comes to mirror work, there are two ways that you can go about it. You can do actual mirror work in an actual mirror, or you can do mirror work um, just mentally in your mind and using your 3D to see where you are mentally. So I'm going to get into it in one of the first ways. So using an actual mirror, um, what I like to do especially is every time I see my reflection, and anything, not just a mirror, I like to say like, oh my God, like, hey, gorgeous, or hey, beautiful, or you look so good today, or your skin looks amazing. Like I make sure that every time I see myself in a reflection, I give myself a compliment because how you see yourself, people are going to see you that way. So um, you, it's best to look at yourself and start genuinely loving what you actually see. And now when it comes to wealth and doing things like that, um you can look at yourself and say like, oh my God, I'm the wealthiest person ever. Like look at yourself in the mirror, because when you're actually in that state and circumstances are reflecting you actually being rich, when you do look at yourself and do think about yourself, those are the types of thoughts you're going to be having. Like, I can buy anything I want. I'm so and not, necessarily in an arrogant way, but you're going to have those type of thoughts because that'll be the type of life that you're living. You can go places and buy whatever it is that you want, and you don't feel lack or resistance when it comes to spending. So when you look in the mirror, talk to yourself and say your affirmations and get to a point where you're really feeling your affirmations, not just looking in the mirror like, I am rich, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am wealthy. And it's like, duh, like, I'm rich and I am wealthy. Like, accept it. Accept it. The same way you accept, not saying necessarily you, but the same way people, it's easier for us to accept the negative, right? We have to train our subconscious to be that, the same way, of accepting the positivity. You want to have that same type of going with it. You want to, when you think about something it is that you want, you want to be like, oh yeah, I can have that. And and have that attitude about it, genuinely, So um, that's one way you can do mirror work. So to wrap that up, look at yourself in the mirror and affirm who you are, who you want to be. Because the more, imagine if every day, every time you see your reflection in the morning, you wake up and you look into the mirror, and you told yourself every day, hey, gorgeous. And you said, you are the wealthiest person I know. I'm happy to be you. I love you. Imagine doing something like that for just to start off even a week straight. I'm pretty sure you will start seeing things reflect back that are, more satisfactory for you. So try that. And then when you do that for a week, turn it into 30 days. 30 days, 2 months. 2 months, 6 months. 6 months, a year, and then it's just who you are. It's your way of life. And you'll start thinking positive and accept positive things just as easily as you accepted the negative as the past version of yourself. The second way you can do mirror work is using your 3D to determine what's really going on mentally, right? So for example, let's use SP. If you see in your 3D that, you're not having the best communication, or you're not having any communication at all, or things or circumstances are not the way that you want them to be, then that means that there's still something within you that's heading towards the more unfavorable when it comes to your thoughts, right? So a lot of the time, people would say, but I've been affirming and I still don't see any changes. Well, that's because you still aren't dominant in your story. A person that is dominant in their story would not even be able to be in a state to say something like that. When you're in your state, the correct embodiment of who you are, who you want to be, you're not looking for answers. You're in your wish fulfilled already. So, um, it's telling you that your mind is still thinking more unfavorable. The moment that your manifestation shows up, that is indication that you have like reached a pinnacle where um, you're thinking more favorably. And even when the manifestation comes up, you want to keep up the favorable thoughts no matter what. And that's how you do mirror work, by using 3D. The 3D is going to show you perfectly where you are mentally. There's no, I've been doing this for so long, I've been in the state and I'm still not seeing it. Someone in the state will not say that. So you're not in the state. You may have been, yes, persisting for a while. I mean, if you've been persisting for years, then that means that you're most likely, not saying you necessarily, the subscriber who asked this question, but just if anyone watching in general, if you are someone that you feel like you've been manifesting 6 months to a year, 2, 3 months for SP, and then nothing is happening, that is because somewhere within you, you still have not dominantly embodied that person actually loving you and wanting to be with you, right? So if you're doing things like affirming for like 10 to 15 minutes, and then you're going back to checking the 3D, and then you check the 3D, you're believing what you see. Now you're affirming what you see. Your subconscious is taking that in, and most likely you're triggered by something that you see. So then now that's mixed in with a amplified negative emotion, a negative feeling, so now that's like, oh, even feels even more real to you. And then you might call your friend and then talk about it. And then you'll go, you start cursing them out in your head. And it's just like, that's not the embodiment. If you're still being angry about them in your mind, that's not the embodiment of the wish fulfilled. So your job, I don't want to say job that you got to do work, but I mean, your goal, you know, what you just have to do is, however way you want to take it in, what you have to do is just stay in your mind as a person that always gets committed to. And if it's hard for you to say like a person's name and that makes you feel really triggered, then go general, like, my man loves me so much, or my woman loves me so much, or I'm in a perfect relationship, my relationship is so great, and just have like good feelings surrounding that. Circumstances are automatically going to start shifting around for you to match that. So that's how you could use the 3D to show you what's going on. And also another thing, in other people's lives, you could see, if you have conversations with them and they tell you what's going on in their life, that is just telling you what has been going on in their mind, because everyone's 3D is a manifestation of their um cumulative, I don't know if I said that word right, but everyone's world is a manifestation of their built up thoughts since back when. So our worlds are always going to be a direct reflection of what's going on within us mentally. So that's a way you can use mirror work when it comes to using the 3D reality. So to wrap it up, there's two ways you can use mirror work. You can use actual mirror work, and whenever you see your reflection, you say something amazing to yourself. You say something amazing to your reflection. And connection to everything that it is that you want. You could look at yourself and say, wow, you're just like the luckiest person in the world. I love you. I love being here. Like, I can't believe I'm here, and start saying things like that when you're looking in the mirror. If it's something that you feel is like a huge flaw that triggers you, and you know you get triggered when people notice it or say something about it, it's because when you look at yourself, you're judging yourself harshly about it, and then people have no choice but to reflect your dominant thoughts, so they'll say something about it. So when it comes to something that's you may consider a flaw about yourself, find a way to love it. Find a way to appreciate your uniqueness and fall in love with yourself. And then the world will reflect back things that you can't even imagine in the best ways. You've imagined them, but the experience will be very fulfilling for you because you're holding complete within. And that's the entire point of this whole thing. Is to feel whole and complete within. So I was just being nosy a little bit. I heard something going on in my house. But that's the point. It's to fall in love with yourself. And it's not about trying to find something outside of you to give you the validation, because every time you do that, it's just like you're pressing repeat for those circumstances. Right? So every time you find yourself reaching out for your person to love you and you start feeling that anxiety, it's like, no, pull back and start remembering the whole version of yourself. Who is that person? Because only the whole version of you has your desires. The person that's chasing and needing validation outside of themselves obviously don't have their desires, right? So to snap out of that, your mission every day, no matter what is going on, must be to be whole and complete within yourself as much as possible. That has to be your main goal than anything else. And when you get to that place, you master all the loving in life. Let's just put it like that. And you see better feedback. So I intend that that has answered your question. How to do mirror work. There's two ways: actual mirror, and the second way is to look at your reflection, which is the 3D reality. Look at that reflection, look at that mirror, and see what's going on. And that's showing you, like, oh, okay, this is what I'm thinking. Let me change that up, and stop being afraid to let things happen. Right? Um, like a thing I like to remind myself and say, everything cannot happen in 24 hours, right? Like, if you want to marry, your SP and have children, all of that cannot happen in 24 hours, right? I mean, yes, you can get married and conceive, on the same day, of course, but to conceive and have the baby on the same day, you know, so let life do its thing for once. And also, for once, you focus on making your goals how to make yourself whole and complete. And that's the perfect mirror work, because once you do that, then everything outside of you is going to jump literally to that as soon as you embody it. If you're not seeing your changes come in yet, then that is just an honest indication that you have not embodied it yet. Keep going. The more you feel lighter, that's indication that you're on the right track. So the key is to take it day by day and feel lighter and lighter. And I can guarantee you'll be on your way to your manifestation, because the person that feels whole and complete has it all. It's not to say that people who feel sad or, I don't even want to say depressed, but sad and, feeling a little bit low cannot manifest. But who wants to manifest that way and feel that way majority of the time, right? So you do want to be whole and complete so that you can manifest from that place majority of the time, right? This is the reason why we do this. So I intend that this has helped you all, everyone who has watched this. If you're in the need of coaching, I'm always available, and you can check out my availability in the description box below. There's a link, and Create Your Future also has a free course. And if you're interested in that, there's also a link for that in the description box below. And until next time, guys, see ya.